Okay, good morning, Chavra. Today is the 6th of Cheshvan. Beautiful Tuesday morning. And we're on page 84 in Chayenu. Get your Chayenus, Chavra, chayenu.org. In today's lesson, the above mentioned puzzle solved. We're going to solve the puzzle that we've been.
I highly doubt that.
Why you gotta go do that?
It's not, we never thought.
Why you gotta go do that?
I mean, the puzzle's
Give us a
perpetual never.
chance. Give us a fighting chance.
Let's be honest. The puzzle's never solved. That's part of the fun.
But this part of the puzzle, you might not finish the whole puzzle because that's it.
This corner of the puzzle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, okay, all the blues and reds, everything like lines up.
Yeah, like the corners, the straight parts.
The Torah of good and evil refers not to the divine itself, study itself, which is holy and pure, but to the objects and scenarios of the world which it deals with. What are we talking about? We're talking about good and evil. I'm talking about the Torah. The Torah is pure, 100%. So the Baal Shem Tov mentions that he's talking about the objects that we have to deal with.
Puzzle solved.
Done. It was 2 more words later. It would have. In truth, if you examine closely what the Rai Mehem is trying to say.
Did you say why, man?
The Zohar.
Why is it called that?
It's a faithful shepherd. It guides us and it teaches us spiritually and emotionally and helps us. How's that rhyme
and proof?
It's Aramaic.
Okay, sorry.
Ve'ilana de toivera, the ihu isur v'heter chulu, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, meaning prohibition and permissibility. The loy amar toiras isur v'heter. It doesn't say the Torah that teaches you things that are permissible and things that are forbidden, or oy hilchos isur v'heter, the laws of prohibition and permissibility. That would suggest that that's the Torah. Chas v'shal. Elar it's a leimar to guf davar sha'aser v'davar amuter. Rather, the things that we're talking about is the actual things that are permitted and prohibited. That comes from the tree of good and evil. Meaning the klipas nega, the outer shell. Okay, so we have to utilize, if you think about where it comes from a behemoth. It comes from the ground. It comes from whatever. This is in fact the root of asur. Asur is forbidden. Literally, asur means bound. Think of something that's chained to the ground, to concrete. There's a ring, and you can't elevate it. It's stuck. You got to move on and go find something else to do. So that's asur, and the klippa hovers over the forbidden thing so that it cannot rise aloft to holiness. Like that which is mutar, meaning permitted, unbound. Mutar is, like a helium balloon. You snip it, it's going to fly away. Beautiful. While mutar means that a permitted object is not tied and bound, also to the klippa would anchor it. Like that chain that's holding it down, a big anchor. And is therefore able, so what's this mutar that's able to rise up? It's able to ascend by means of the person eating it with his mind on Hashem, meaning in order to have the strength to serve him. So when you take something that's so physical, you take a potato is literally from under the ground, and then you peel it, and then you cook it in the cholent, and you make a bracha, and you enjoy it on Shabbos Kodesh, and while you're eating it, you're like, it's giving me such timing of Shabbos, and it's
eating a potato raw is kind of gross.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to elevate it by cooking it. You got to burn it out. You got to put it through the Gehenna, the cleansing process. Begam bistam. And the same applies when there's no specific intent. Any person who serves Hashem, who studies Torah and prays with Hashem, to Hashem, with the energy derived from this eating, you will now uplift that eating, even if you didn't have intention while you were eating it, but now you're davening and learning with the energy. You had coffee this morning, you had breakfast? Neither. But if you did, and you didn't even think about it, you grabbed it, you didn't drink a cup of water, nothing.
This morning, I went raw dog.
Gotcha.
trying different things to see how it would help my voice during davening. So
Yeah.
I've tried different ideas to see which
I
is
think
better.
water is never going to hurt your voice.
I know, but I don't know. Today I did pretty good.
Yeah, very good. It
Too good.
It's
I needed 3 minutes.
maybe you should drink something and slow it down.
Slow down.
Okay, Beninsa. So meaning like this: if whatever you eat later on, if you're davening and you're learning, you got energy from that which you ate. So that is part of your service of Hashem, right? Okay, let's say this: you didn't think when you got in your car that that's serving Hashem. You're not thinking, oh, so I'm utilizing the tool that I have to go and daven. You're not thinking that. You're just getting up quickly. I gotta go. Oh, I got a red light. I got a green light. Whatever. But that car gets credit because it brought you to shul. So v'nimsa shenasa oisis ha'torah v'atfilah ha'olam l'Hashem mikerach ha'nivra me'hamaychel hahu. The letters of Torah and prayer, the words that we're saying, which is sent to Hashem, are formed out of the energy distilled from that food. Look at that. In other words, the life force that derives from Klippas Nega is thereby elevated to Hashem. Klippas Nega is like neutral. So that food which you ate last night, today, yesterday, okay, there's some food that's sustaining you. That was neutral. Even if you didn't have the kavanah that I'm serving Hashem with this food. This is so during the week. In order for the food to be eaten on weekdays to be elevated, it must be utilized for Torah and prayer. Oh, I jumped the gun here. So here during the week, you have a little snack. You know, sometimes you get a little hungry, headache, a little snack. That snack, even though it's just a neutral thing, it energizes you to serve Hashem, even if you're not concentrating thinking about it. But you have to daven and learn in order for that snack to be elevated. That food that you ate. Avo b'Shabbos, I was talking about the potato that was made in the cholm. Avo b'Shabbos, sheyesh aliyah liklipas neiga ba'atzma im hachitzoni shebachol ha'ilmos. On Shabbos, the klipas neiga itself is elevated, together with the external aspects of all the worlds. For Shabbos is characterized by the elevation of the worlds. Aliyah Samailis. So no matter what you do on Shabbos, it's already spiritual and holy. And therefore, it's a mitzvah to eat every kind of thing that could bring you enjoyment on Shabbos for the sake of enjoying Shabbos, irrespective of the fact whether it gives you strength to serve Hashem or not. You're going to eat a big cholent and you're not going to learn, you're going to take a nap. Nevertheless, that food gets elevated. So during the week, in order to elevate the food, even if you don't have kavanah, but right afterwards, you go and you daven, you learn, you do a mitzvah, the food gets elevated. On Shabbos, you don't really have to do anything because everything is in an elevated state. And you should drink more wine and eat more meat than usual. During the week, if you did the same thing the way we eat on Shabbos, it's crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
If you did that during the week, you'd be called a glutton and a drunk. When it comes to things that are forbidden, that we cannot touch. You don't eat something that's forbidden to eat. God forbid, something treif. And you say, yeah, but if now I have the energy to daven and to learn, it doesn't help. And you can't eat it on Shabbos and say, well, everything that brings me enjoyment, so I may as well eat this even if it's not kosher. Can't do that. So something that's usher, remember, something that's usher is locked up, is chained up. There's nothing you do. That's a different story. If one ate in order to save his life, he's in the desert, he's running, he's God forbid, in the war time and this and that. Our sages said, absolutely, you should eat it. So a person's, God forbid, in the worst of situations, and he has an opportunity to eat something, just give him strength. God forbid, in the dungeons of Gaza or in a terrible situation. By the way, here we're talking about a war, but if somebody's stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean and along comes a chas, some kind of a non-kosher fish, right? He captures the shark that's trying to rip his raft up, and he's absolutely starving, he's emaciated, and he eats it, and he thanks Hashem for it. Oh, you're able to elevate that food. But the study of Torah, even the laws of Isra and Heter, impurity, meaning not the objects, but the laws concerning themselves. Shem Mishnayis, B'Raisa, B'Gemara, those being Mishnayis and the B'Raisas and the Gemara that address these issues. Opoiskim, Mavadim, Divreihem lahalacha lamaisa, and the codifiers who explain and clarify their words for practical application. Heinen gufa Torah shebal peh. These constitute the body of the oral Torah. Shisfiras malchus tatzilus kidisa b'zayir hakadosh v'kaim ein misbar, which is the sphere of malchus of the world of Atzilus, as is stated in innumerable places in the sacred Zayir. Michael, thank you, Michael. It's likewise written at the beginning of the Tikkunim that Malchus, sovereignty, that is the mouth, which we call the oral Torah, Atzilus, Ihu ve'garmoi chad b'hoin, and in Atzilus, he and his causations, garmoi, literally organs are one with them, meaning the infinite Torah and Seif and the vessels of Kelim, which emanate from him, and so too his attributes are all one with him in the spheres. The so that's the infinite Ein Sof unites itself in Atzilus in an absolute unity, so that Hashem and his will and wisdom, which come through his speech, which is called Malchus, are entirely one. This indivisible level of Hashem, this indivisible level of divinity, can thus not be described in compound terms as the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the laws of the oral Torah, Mishnah, Braisos, and legal codes which relate to the sphere of Malchus in the world of Atzilus partake of the same indivisible unity. These laws can thus not be described in terms of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. What are we talking about? The actual thing that we partake in. If you utilize it in the wrong way, it's, it can go either way. So that has the potential for good and evil, but not chas v'shalom, the Torah itself, which is one with the Eibusher. That cannot be called from the tree of good and evil. So the takeaway is the Hebrew word for permissible is mutar, which means untied, which could be elevated, because anything permitted is not bound by the evil forces and can be elevated to God if utilized properly. That's not just food, that's anything. The phone is a very dangerous thing if you use it the wrong way. Use it the right way, the proper way to teach Torah, learn Torah, be able to communicate with your friends, family, and loved ones. So anything that we come across in the world, if it's neutral, if it's good, great. If it's neutral, we have the opportunity to elevate it, which take full advantage of that. If it's not for a Jew, leave it alone. Stay away from it. Walk away. Keep your eyes away from it. Keep your heart away from it. Don't touch it. Get yourself into trouble. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.